Do you feel lucky? There are 1,000 ways to die on an airplane, but vanishing completely without a trace? That's a new one. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going off the grid and chasing ghosts as we explore the darkest corners of one of the world's most baffling mysteries. On March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, bound for Beijing with 227 passengers and 12 crew on board. It was just another routine flight along one of the world's busiest air routes. Nothing about Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 suggested that it would end up in the annals of unsolved mysteries. But just 40 minutes into the flight, at 1:19 a.m., the pilot calmly radioed, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those were the last words ever heard from the aircraft. Moments later, the plane's transponder, which relays information like altitude and location to air traffic control, suddenly went dark. Almost as if someone had switched off the lights, the plane disappeared from radar. The disappearance of MH370 was all the more perplexing because no distress call was ever made, and there were no indications of any problems before the plane went off course. At first, the authorities assumed that the pilots had somehow become incapacitated, causing the plane to veer thousands of miles off track. The Boeing 777 continued flying on autopilot for hours, crossing over the Malay Peninsula and turning towards the Indian Ocean. It is believed that the plane flew for a total of 7 hours after losing contact with air traffic control, eventually running out of fuel and crashing into the ocean. But here's the thing, MH370 should have been flying over the South China Sea at this point, not the middle of the Indian Ocean. So how did the plane make such a massive navigational error? We don't know, and that's only the beginning. Here's what we do know. Over 30 countries, including Australia, China, India, Japan, and the United States, joined the hunt to find MH370. This was the largest air and sea search in history. Ships and planes combed through millions of square miles of ocean and satellite imagery. Experts used sonar to scan the ocean floor. Some focused on a faint signal detected by a British satellite suggesting the plane had sent a weak SOS signal. Others tracked the plane's last known position and possible flight paths. After 2 years of searching, they gave up the hunt with no answers. All they had to show for their efforts were a few pieces of debris that washed ashore and a handful of inconclusive sightings. To this day, the plane itself has never been found. It's easy to get lost in the weeds of this case, poring over flight data, weather reports, and nautical charts. But sometimes it's best to zoom out and consider the big picture. A modern passenger jetliner with hundreds of people on board simply cannot disappear without a trace. Even if the plane was full of illicit cargo or stowaways, surely someone would have noticed. So, let's cut to the chase. What really happened to MH370? We may never know for sure, but some of the leading theories are worth considering. The most straightforward explanation is that the plane suffered catastrophic damage, perhaps due to an explosion or structural failure, causing a rapid decompression and incapacitating everyone on board. But why would such a modern and well-maintained plane suddenly fall apart in the sky? Another theory is that the plane was hijacked, either by criminals or a state-sponsored terrorist group. But hijackers typically want to negotiate for the safe return of their plane and passengers. In this case, there was no ransom demand, just silence. A third theory is that the pilots intentionally crashed the plane, either because of some personal crisis or under duress of a threat. But why would the pilots steer the plane so far off course and then not attempt to land it? It doesn't make sense. Conspiracy theories abound, ranging from secret cargo and military cover-ups to alien abductions and time travel. But these are just distractions from the real mystery. The disappearance of MH370 is a stark reminder of how little control we have over the world around us. No amount of planning, preparation, or technology can fully mitigate against the unexpected. What do you think happened to MH370? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more thrilling mysteries each week. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break from staring into the abyss so I can bring you guys another video. But you keep on staring. See you next time.